You are Locked On Coogs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Coogs, Parker Ainsworth here, talking about Neon Deion. The Colorado Buffaloes are Houston's first Big 12 opponent this season. Play on Friday night on week 3. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. It's a home game, fun game for Houston. It's week 4, but it's a fun atmosphere for Houston in a lot of kind of way. I guess if you count week 0. Anyway, fun atmosphere for Houston. Friday night game, marquee television matchup. Deion Sanders coming to town. So we think the big news out of Colorado is that Deion Sanders, who has been dealing with health issues, is set to have a press conference at noon Texas time, noon Central time on Monday with his medical staff present. Now, I was hypothesizing he might not have shown up to Big 12 Media Days because of some of his health stuff. It sounds like he made it there. It sounds like he did avoid some of his required things. But when asked about it at Media Days, Deion Sanders replied to The Athletic, sometimes you'll be on that bull junk, so I'm really not going to tell you much. You know that. But I'm not here to talk to you about my health. I'm here to talk to you about my team. And then they want to talk about his team, talk about NIL, have the viral quotes and stuff like that from that, right? He's also been spotted in Tampa Bay watching his son Shiloh work out. Shiloh Sanders trying to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not quite guaranteed that by any stretch, right? Deion also missed some of their spring practices, his own health stuff. There's talk about needing to amputate more of his foot and leg. If you don't know, he's missing a few toes on one of his feet with some of this health stuff he's got going on. And look, I want to stress before I get into the football side of this, this is much more of a human story. And Kevin Borba over at Locked On Buffs is doing a great job of covering it from all the angles, right? I don't want to sound like obtuse or like I'm looking past the human element of this. Obviously, Deion Sanders needs to take care of his health. Deion Sanders needs to take care of being a father. He needs to take care of being a man. Like, he has other things he's got to take care of. I totally get that. And from a football perspective, this could dramatically shape how Houston's first month of football goes. You could be looking at a team that suddenly goes from, we'll see how they go. They got a Power 4 out of conference team in Oregon State, and they got Colorado, and all this kind of. To suddenly, you're looking at like, why can't they be 5-0? You're shifting things ever so slightly because of how this could dramatically change that singular team, right? Now, I will say, listen, whether it's a hiatus, an exodus, an absence, etc., not having your head coach on the sidelines impacts teams, and it kind of polarizes. You go either the galvanizing, play together kind of way, or the we have no one here to keep anything together kind of. Like, you just go one of two ways, right? I don't know what the health news will be. I don't know how it will impact Colorado from that instance. But if he's about to announce, like, hey, I got to go do some treatments, I'm not going to be around until October. I'm telling you right now, man, that Houston money line is going to go up. That's going to be in Houston's favor. At home, no Deion? Like, come on, right? If it's worse than that, again, we are not angling for anything here. The human story is more important. But from a football's perspective, this is a Houston Cougar football show, Houston Cougar sports show, but talking about football right now. From a football perspective, if he has to hang it up and quit, which it does sound like it's potentially on the table, that means all those guys have 30 days to enter the transfer portal. You want to go get any? So they don't even know who their own quarterback is. They've sent 2 to media day. It's like suddenly a lot of these questions are surrounding that program, and it's like Houston gets them as their first Big 12 game. This is a far cry from the schedule a year ago, folks, and that could really help set this team up for success in a lot of ways. Again, there are more important things here, and as a guy that loved Deion, the football player, because he's just he's just a showman. He's all energy all the time. He was the center of the stage, etc. And frankly, as someone who, like, in the middle of creating my own content at Big 12 Media Days, like, put all that on pause, go listen to him talk. He still carries a room like that, and I appreciate that in a lot of ways, frankly. right? He's must watch and must listen all the time, right? He he talks about NIL dollars and putting caps on that, but told the Dallas Cowboys to put him on layaway. Like this guy's got a lot of different sides to him in a lot of different ways. And you're probably telling me in the comments what you think about him, and that's totally fine too. He is polarizing. He is a guy that pulls out an emotion and a reaction from people. I don't think that we should look past that. This is a real painful time for he and his family, obviously. All the other chaos aside, right? Just like he's having health problems when he needs to be a father figure for his kids as they're transitioning to being professionals in their career that he was also professional in, and he can't be the best advice giver in that. Obviously, if he's dealing with these health things, like that's all challenging. And that challenge weirdly could help Houston as it continues. So it's something to monitor as we go here. And I don't want to beat a horse while it's laying on the ground. That doesn't seem fair. The horse has got the legs broken and all that kind of stuff, right? But if I had to beat a horse in a race, and you tell me I could race the horse that's on the ground, I could race the horse standing up, I'd probably rather race the horse on the ground. I don't know. I might want to check on the one on the ground, but probably rather race that one. So I think that it's an interesting dilemma when you look at the personal side of it. And obviously, there's a decent chance that he says at his media availability in the middle of the day on Monday, hey, I'm good, let's roll. And then we just play ball. And I still think Houston wins that game. It's just not the same kind of contest. But there's a chance something else that's happening here. And if Deion is Gion, my fun play on words, if Deion's gone, it didn't work out very well. If Deion's gone, I do think that this is a gigantic college football story. A big, meaty, like if he goes, he had this whole ordeal about bringing in Louis bags and bringing in new players, and he replaced the whole roster and like very quickly and suddenly and abruptly. He bluntly stole Alton McCaskill from Houston, right? Like those kinds of things happened. And now, and now suddenly it could all be about to fall out the bottom. If he's hanging it up, those guys didn't commit to Boulder. All that money wasn't committed because they're Boulder. All that popularity, them joining the Big 12, you could argue, wasn't because of Boulder. It's because of Deion. And that's going to never stop shifting, right? Very, very quickly. So it is Houston's first conference opponent. It is a big story in the conference. And man, oh man, I sit here and watch it and look at it. And I'm just like, I really hope he's okay. I hope long-term health Deion Sanders is around. I don't want anything chaotic, awful. I do want to know what's happening though. And part of that's because I'm just like, I guess, a little greedy with I just want to know what's going on and all that. But also it directly impacts Houston's schedule. It directly impacts how Houston starts the year. And frankly, we see these storylines. Last year, BYU, first 2/3 of the year, was on top of the world. And, they drop one here, drop one there. But you could argue that they were very close to riding that to a college football playoff berth. There were people arguing for them to be in, certainly. They beat SMU, and SMU got in. I think that how you start the year is how you start your story, and the story is a big part of this. I'm not saying they're a CFP team necessarily in the second year of this Willie Fitz rebuild, but I will say having that game altered changes things. And we'll see how it alters. We'll see how it changes. We'll see. Hopefully everyone's okay. Hopefully beat them straight up fair and square. Hopefully that all happens. But whatever happens, we'll be here at Locked On Coogs breaking it all down live. If something crazy happens, if not, hit the bell and subscribe so you know when we are live. Locked On Coogs, the Locked On Podcast Network. That means your team every day. Go Coogs.